Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Season 27 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays hits its 5th round in successive weeks as we now head to the world-famous World Centre of Racing at the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, the home of the Rolex 24 Hours. Welcome along to the Racer Nexus Broadcast Network, and up here in the Global Broadcast Centre you join once again myself, Alex Goldschmidt, and my partner in crime for this series for Season 27. Good evening, Mac Nelson, buddy. How you going?
Man, Alex, it has been amazing. It's been a good day. It's been a good weekend. Honestly, ever since last Tuesday, I have been so thrilled to get back out here. I knew this week was Daytona, man. I'm so excited to see the drivers, how they do, how they work, and, yeah, I think it's going to be incredible what we see here tonight.
So, let's do a little bit of housekeeping first of all. Let's introduce the circuit itself. Opened back in 1959. The road course itself opened in 1985. Measures 3.56 miles, 5.729 kilometers, 12 turns in all, and has a capacity of over 123,000 people. Not too far south of Orlando, where they normally have Walt Disney World, but this is our main attraction tonight. Of course, with that, you've got the oval turns, which will be 31 degrees of banking, the tri-oval 18 degrees, the back straightaway 2 degrees, and then the infield is flatter than a Dutch pancake, let's be completely honest with you. However, the calendar, we're at week 5 out of 12. Next week, we head to Donington Park National in Leicestershire for the halfway point of the series. Nürburgring Grand Prix for week 7 on April 28th. May 5th, we go to St. Pete for the very first time in the series, as it's a new addition to the iRacing server. Zandvoort on May 12th, Sebring on May 19th, Interlagos, the Autodromo José Carlos Pache on May 26th, and then it is the home of Petit Le Mans Road Atlanta that sees season 27 come to a close on June 2nd. Before we head trackside for the remaining part of qualifying before the 45-minute race, let's take you through the scores so far. Jesse Mia not here tonight. He's having a little bit of a vacation at the moment. He leads by 1 point ahead of Thomas Lathrop. Michael Brock and Brian Lemke, the two battling over the season 26 crown, ran out your top 4 ahead of Roman Bykov, Joe Mayer, DJ Alessandrini, who makes a return to the series, Jonathan Cooper, Kevin Zhu, and Justin Aitchison round out your top 10. Zach Peterson leads by 1 point ahead of Sean Teeter, with Aaron Sunday completing your top 3. I wonder what the man from LA, California is going to bring on the livery of his Mercedes here tonight at Daytona. Dylan Foster, John Monsal, they ran out the top 3 ahead of Mike Bond, Felipe Cox, Paul Bailey, Vincent Wood, and John Agudelo. In the number 505, Stabilo Boss Highlighter Edition, McLaren 570 rounds out the top 10. But, you know what I said before we went on air, Mac? He's back. DJ Alessandrini has just taken pole position, and he's 3/4 of a second ahead of this man here, the man from St. Kitts and Nevis, the self-proclaimed Nürburgring King. Well, he better be on good form in 2 weeks' time when we head to the car's home soil in the Eifel region of Germany on April the 28th. But Alessandrini has done a 52.496 and he's blown the doors off before Michael Caine even got involved in the original Italian job.
Yeah, DJ Alessandrini, he is quick, man, and it's something that we've grown accustomed to seeing here in the Apex this GT4 league. He comes in and he kind of just wreaks havoc. Not in a bad way, he's just so fast. And we see it in the Mazda series as well.
Yeah, so qualifying has been completed. For those new to Race and Nexus, thank you so much for joining us in the timing tower. White letters, white numbers indicate going pro. And then for anyone under 1800 iRating, it's the cyan blue for the mid-pack Larry. So let's take you through the starting grid as everyone is starting to jump onto the circuit itself. DJ Alessandrini and Brian's in, making an all Porsche front row. Porsche taking both the front two rows. Kevin Zhu and Michael Chase rounding out P3 and P4. Michael Brock, the best of the rest in the Ford Mustang, rounds out your top five ahead of P6's Thomas Lathrop, a race winner already this series. Brian Lemke, the defending champion, starts on an all BMW Road 4 with Mark Miller alongside Roman Bykov, and current mid-pack Larry's leader, Zach Peterson, completes your overall top 10. Then we turn the page on the starting lineup. Oz Escalou versus John Monsalvo, row 6. Carl Mavis and Spencer Baudouin, row 7. Joe Mayer and John Cooper, row 8. Connor Menard and John Agadello round out row 9 and completing the top 20. Russell Abraham and Justin Aitchison in the Golf Livery Mustang. Sean Teeter, Grayson Berv, Harrison Mealy, Philippe Cox, Aaron Sunday, Donald Mency. Please forget the fact we've got a McLaren with Mac's name on it. He's just trying something out, but he's not going to be driving whilst we're going live, folks, believe you me. And Dylan Foster and Paul Bailey round out what will effectively be row 14 and completing our 28 strong. Mac, you've got a little bit of method of the madness of going in as a driver rather than a spectator this time.
Yeah.
Just to sort of make sure that there are no technical hiccups behind the scenes. But of course, on cue. Good evening, Jen Brock. Hope Jason is keeping well. I hope his foot's well after being dared by, I think what Michael said one time. He said that some kid dared him to jump off the monkey bars in the playground. But it is going to be a short formation. What can we expect for the folks at home tonight to be watching for?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very exciting, Alex. I think mainly I want to just highlight Zach Peterson, man. I know he is leading. He is the leader. He has had a lot of success here in the series, but I just want to get it off my chest. I think this man deserves to be in that going pro class. He is always up there battling with the big dogs. He's always taking it, holding his weight against the likes of Alessandrini, Kevin Zhu, Michael Brock, Michael Chase as well. So, you know, I know we have a little ways to go in the season, Alex, but if he doesn't win the championship, it doesn't get that automatic bid somehow, I still think his name deserves to be in the hat for it.
Well, he's basically the mid-pack Larry's equivalent of the tribal chief Roman Reigns when it comes to how dominant he's been in the series so far. But even though he still only leads it by 1 point. And when you think about Sean Teeter, Sean is all the way down in 21st. Zach's completing the outside of row 5 as the pace car now will go into pit road. There it is. The Porsche 911 safety car dives into pit road. We're ready with an all Porsche front 2 rows as we are set at the World Centre of Racing. We go green here for 45 minutes. Let's run down to the infamous tight left-hander here at turn number 1. Alessandrini and Zin nearly wheel to wheel. Zin trying to go around the outside. And there's a little bit of a look as Sean Teeter has already gone into the pits. It looks like, well, they might have just ended crossing the line, but Alessandrini leads us to the Rodriguez International Horseshoe. A little bit further back, a battle between Brock, Lathrop, Chase, Zhu. And look, Lathrop's trying to get the run out of turn 3 as they're going to go into turn 4 before, well, through the dog leg into the Western Horseshoe. Brock trying to keep to the inside line in the 421 Technicolor Mustang, and Lathrop gets through. And then Lemke's trying to go around the outside of the 421 Mustang, the man from Sky Lounge Motorsport in the all-black BMW M4 GT4, as they now head towards Turns 6 and 7, Bykov having to dive late on the brakes to not go into the back end of Lemke's BMW as they come out onto the tri-oval, but onto the main banking for the first time. Well, I hope Jason gets well soon, Jen. Tested positive for flu on Saturday. I don't know what happens with you guys at the Brock household. You must have the worst luck in the world. But nevertheless, you can see here that the BMW 3-litre twin power turbo inline 6-cylinder engine. And then he's got that very noisy and raucous Aston Martin, which is meant to be a car that looks gracious, but it can make a bit of a noise from the tailpipe. In the Coors Light edition with the Union Jack ablaze, even though Roman Bykov is from the USA, he's decided, well, you know what I'm going to do? It's an Aston Martin. I'm going to give it its gracious due and put the Union Jack on the top of the roof.
Yeah, well done. Well done. What a look by Roman Bykov. And just to touch on the point of the schemes and the liveries, it feels like all the drivers here in the Apex this GT4 Tuesday League, they always come with amazing looking liveries.
Yeah, all you need is the front red scanner going from side to side on Brian Lemke's car, and then you've probably got the Apex this GT4 Tuesday's equivalent of Knight Rider in kit. But look at how close Michael Brock is chasing. Michael chased himself, but then Lemke to the inside. These two were battling right up until the death in season 26, with the number 41 taking the crown by a handful of points. But into the dogleg we go here at turn 4. Lemke, oh, what's happened to Lemke? He just went straight on. Has there been another problem again for the number 41? He had that earlier on this season, and that was at Spa when he had the moment as Lemke is tumbling. You did mention about the fact in practice he did have an issue. So Brian Lemke, they do say that lightning does strike twice, but in sorry, trying to get my words out here. I need to put my dentures back in, excuse me. So Brian Lemke is in the pits, and that could be disaster for the number 41. You mentioned about the fact he was having connection issues in practice. Obviously, Keegan Gehrig is not here tonight. He's got some storms round in his locality, but Alessandrini is already 1.1 seconds up the road. We're nearly at the completion of lap number 2. As you can see, the 333 emblazoned with the Lizard Brains podcast logo on both doors, and also where the rear number plate would be if the car was road legal, that is. This particular car, 3.8 litre flat 6-boxer engine, producing around about 500 horsepower. In real life, these cars make a glorious noise. As I was recently at Portimao for the opening round of Porsche Schwarz Cup Suisse, as we are helping to celebrate Porsche's 75th anniversary when it comes to their motorsport division. But still, it is a Porsche. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alessandrini leads Zinn, Zhu, Lathrop. Brock is the highest of the Mustangs. Bykov is the highest of the Aston Martins. Mark Miller in the 120 is the highest of the BMWs, obviously after Brian Lemke's issues. Now, I think, oh dear, I think Brian, I'm going to have a check on the Discord now, because I think that might be an issue there for Brian, but I'll wait to see. But I think Brian is not going to, it looks like he might not be taking any further part in this race, and that is a real drama for the number 41.
Yeah, I agree there. I tried to go see maybe if Brian Lemke was getting some damage repaired in the pits, but I do not believe he's in the car at all right now. So very, very sad to see. Brian Lemke was so quick in practice, but yeah, he got unfortunately booted back to the pit lane on connection issues, not from race control or anything. It was just standard protocol from iRacing. As of, I think, like last year, maybe a year and a half ago, they introduced that connection flag. But here it rears its dirty head, and Brian Lemke is kind of just out of this race.
Yeah, I've just messaged Brian to ask him what's happened. He's probably trying to see if he can. Well, I think that car is not going anywhere. So down to 27 runners and riders. Brian's actually responding as we speak. He's always been a stand-up guy, has Brian. I'll be completely honest with you. It's always entertaining to speak to him. Oh, he's had a disconnect again. He's been having internet issues all day. So really, really such a shame. Absolutely gutted for what the 41 could have been capable of. Now, bearing in mind, now the track temperature at the moment, it is 27 degrees air, 30 degrees track. So tyre temps and degradation are going to be something that the driver's going to have to watch out. So that's 81 degrees Fahrenheit air, 86 degrees Fahrenheit track, humidity 63%. Now, these drivers have 47% restriction on their fuel tank. That is the most that they can have. And effectively, we will see pit stops. Now, we always are at that guessing game, aren't we, Mac? Whereby we don't know when these drivers are going to pit. Some will find, yes, they're going to be able to eke out that little bit of fuel mileage, as Michael Brock is nearly going rally crossing. Scott Speed back when he was in his rallycross days as part of the ARX program, West Coast Vermont Supercar, when they continued to run the Subaru Motorsports USA program for the American Rally Championship. When you had Scott Speed, Tanner Faust, Travis Pastrana, and all those, even one of the most charismatic individuals in rallycross, Andreas Backerud. And here comes Sean Teeter. Now he's got a big old run on Harrison Mealy. And a very good evening to Rachel. She's already cheering in for Aaron Sunday. Oh, but Sean Teeter got his elbows out, and that meant that Harrison Mealy has just got a slow down penalty. But the thing was, Teeter went for the move, the door was open, and got through rather robustly. Let's have a look at Aaron Sunday's lift. Oh my goodness me. Of all the cars that we've got on this grid, I have to say, every single time, it doesn't matter where Aaron Sunday finishes, he is one of the virtuosos of racing liveries that we have here on Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. He's trying to dive to the inside of turn 1. Sean Teeter runs a little bit wide. There's the number 46 of Russell Abraham, who has lost 2 positions, currently 14th in the Going Pros with the headlights ablaze. And yeah, oh, that Merc just looks awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, I agree. And the hood visor, or not the hood visor, I'm sorry, the windshield visor, the little racing strip at the top. I like the little OnlyFans correlation there. That's funny. Our house, no drama. I got informed on that during a solo broadcast a few weeks ago, so I appreciate that. But yeah, that car is really good looking. It's like a almost mint electric green / blue. It's an amazing color.
You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
Mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's what it reminds me of.
The GOAT, man. The top ice cream, by the way, besides strawberry.
Yeah. Yeah. Strawberries and cream. Definitely a good call there. Right. So we are nearly 10 minutes in. Alessandrini, in the words of David Addison, well, he's off like a stabbed rat. He's 3.2 seconds up the road. He's already put in the fastest lap of the race, so 1:52.714. Now, DJ, I think, well, this is actually, he's made more appearances this season than he did last season. He did the first round, third round, won both, and then scarpered, because he actually in real life is a driver coach. So it's just one of those things. And Rachel is actually racing at the moment on something else. So she said, so Jen, Michael's wife, has just gone, "How are you chatting?" in big capital letters. My goodness me. Now, they say people can't multitask, and that's in general. Rachel has just proven otherwise. Well done, Rachel. Well played. Meantime, Brian Zinn and Kevin Zhu are still battling it out for best of the rest at the moment. Love the livery on Brian Zinn's car. Of course, for those that don't know, Brian is also one of the team at Racer Nexus when it comes to the commentary side of things, but he's always a dab hand behind the wheel, and he's gone with the Porsches. He's gone with the Porsche for this season. So still, Kevin Zhu. Look, Kevin Zhu coming out of turn 6. How close was he getting to the wall on the high side?
Yeah, very, very close. He's pushing it to the limit. He might be overdriving the car a little bit here, Alex. As I can tell, the gap has fallen just a tiny bit back from Zinni, so there might be a little case of trying too hard here on the side of Kevin Zhu.
Well, the man from St. Kitts and Nevis does not disappoint in terms of being Mr. Excitement of the series, and now he's going to get the run coming out of the Le chicane into turn number 11 we go, and then it's going to be run through onto the front stretch via turn 12. That gap is coming down. It's less than a tenth. Where is Kevin Zhu going to park the vehicle? Is he going to go to the high side? This is going to be very, very close as they come through the Geico acceleration zone. Across the stripe they go to complete lap number 6. Kevin Zhu is just bump drafting at the moment through on Brian Zinn. Into the braking zone they go. Brian Zinn just absolutely nails the apex through turns 1 and 2. Kevin Zhu at the moment is powerless to do anything about it. Look at the way that Brian Zinn is aggressively defending. And that is actually pretty fair what he's doing there. He's just making the tail end dart out a little bit more to the left and to the right, depending on what corner it is, whether it's a left or a right-hander. So Kevin Zhu is throwing everything bar the kitchen sink at the 82 for second position. But this is allowing Thomas Lathrop to close on in. Meantime, there's been a change for position, I believe. Grayson Berv now up into what is effectively P3 in the mid-pack Larrys. He seems to be having a little bit of a ping issue as well, but he's got the Stabilo Boss Highlighter Edition McLaren 570S GT4 of John Monsalve, who's up 5 spots so far. Well, he's down 5 spots so far, but that ping for Grayson Berg is not going to do him or anybody else any favours.
Yeah,
and they've got Justin Aitchison closing in.
Yeah, and I noticed, Alex, John Monsalve had the run coming out of the infield there onto, back onto the NASCAR track, but the blink from Grayson actually caused him to check up and hit his brakes, so that was going to be a run and more than likely an overtake for the 505, but like you said, the blinking, the ping is not helping anybody out right now.
No, because the big problem with it is that if Monsalve goes for the move and Grayson Berv has a ping issue where he disappears then reappears, it's not going to help Monsalve in sort of deciding where he's going to position the car as we see it again.
Yeah, I agree. And also as a driver, if you're John Monsalve, that is very, very distracting. If you're just seeing a car blink in and out of existence in front of you, it's going to be really hard to hit your marks and get your car slowed down to the speed it needs to be for every corner. Oh! Yeah, that was so close to the wall there for John Monsalve through T1. He just about got away with scraping the left side of the yellow submarine against the tyre barriers. And that could have harpooned him off exit stage right in front of Justin Aitchison, who is closing in. So this is the battle for the final spot on the mid-pack Larry's rostrum. There is Justin Aitchison in the 175 Gullwing Gulf-coloured Mustang, the Gulf liveried Mustang. I love that livery. Kind of harks back to the 1960s when Carroll Shelby, Ken Miles and Ford Motor Company went to battle against Ferrari on their home turf as being the Le Mans 24-hour outright winners. And look at that, John Monsalve has now just gotten through. He said he's just basically gone, I do not want Grayson Berv pinging in front of me like that. I want to be ahead. Grayson Berv now on the flashers. Berv going to the outside. That is not going to help anybody, but the Porsche gets the slipstream. However, Monsalve has to duck in behind going into the Le Mans chicane. 15 minutes down, we have 30 minutes to go, including the pit stop the drivers will be enforced to take. So let's run you through the top 5 in the respective categories so far. Going pros, leading the race overall, DJ Alessandrini, and he's 5.3 seconds ahead of Brian Zinn in the 82. Kevin Zhu right on his rear bumper going through into turn 1. Michael Brock now up to P4, having just got through on Thomas Lathrop for 4th position. And then look at the gaggle behind. They've got Chase, Bykov, and that's about it. Aaron Sunday has decided to pit
at the 15-minute mark. So the 331 OHND car drives into pit lane. Our house, no drama. Then we go to the mid-pack Larrys. Zach Peterson currently running P10, about 4 tenths behind Spencer Beaudoin. Rounds out is the leader in the mid-pack Larrys. John Agudelo, Grayson Bove, and John Monsalve, and then you've got the gaggle of Aitchison behind. Then look who's closing in behind Russell Abraham. Look, there's the 117 BMW Beast Edition of Sean Teeter. Now, he was looking really, really good last time at Okayama, but had some dramas. So he is looking to make some hay whilst the sun shines here in Florida. And that's a very interesting strategy. I personally think that from Aaron Sunday, thinking, you know what, I'm going to get in, get out, and then run my own race. And that's exactly what he's been doing so far this season.
Yeah, that's kind of the bet on yourself kind of mentality that I do believe Aaron Sunday and a lot of other drivers on this grid do possess when you take the race under your own initiative, under your own accord, and you do things on your terms like Aaron Sunday. He's pitting quick. Now, personally, when I run the 40-minute GT Sprint official races on the iRacing official service, it just turned to Mugello last night. Very fun track. But I do the same thing as Aaron Sunday. If I qualify not in the best of positions and I'm already at a disadvantage when it comes to track space, I'm going to run X amount of laps. I'm going to pit extremely early to get out into that clean air, run my own laps, because I bet on myself that I'm faster than the other people in my class. So in my opinion, fantastic move by Aaron Sunday. He's just betting on himself.
Rachel in chat, I have to ask you, she said, I'm racing a playlist of 10 different racetracks. I'm chatting in between races, lol, we're on 9 out of 10. Rachel, can you tell us what the last two racetracks are? That's and that just goes to show that someone can type quickly in between races when they're having a bit of a break. But more to the point, yeah, I think what Aaron Sunday's got to do is got to take a bit of a page out of Joey Hand's book. Got to have a bit of giddy up in his step, and let's see what happens for the 331. Our house, no drama Mercedes, but Alessandrini continuing to put in qualifying style laps with now a 6.6 second advantage over Brian Zinn. Kevin Zhu is swarming all over the back wing. And look, there they are coming down the backstretch into the Le Mans chicane. Brian Zinn, I have to say here, Mac, once again is just showcasing how consistent he is. But when he gets into his groove, he can really put, put the back end, the back haunches of that Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS Club Sport as wide as humanly possible, but just about enough to keep Kevin Zhu guessing on where he's going to park the car.
Yeah, it's very, very good. And you see this a lot in the real-life splits, whether it be the North American GT3 series powered by SRO Motorsports, I believe. I watched that one on Twitch a lot, and I noticed the drivers that are up in the championship standings, they're not necessarily winning every single race, but they're doing exactly what Zinni here is doing in the number 82 Porsche. He is putting his car in the best spot to keep his position. It's very good defending. It's not malicious. It's not aggressive by any means. He's just being very gentle with the car. And like you said, he's making Kevin Zhu just second guess it for just a split second. But we know in the motorsports world, that is all you need for a plan to either be successful or to fail. So basically, you hit the nail on the head. Zinni is just doing an amazing job at defending right now.
And there's a bit more love in the chat for Aaron Sunday. Chucky Two Guns, welcome in. Thank you very much for your support for Aaron Sunday. And there he is, the man from LA, California. I just can't get over that livery. Like, there's so much intricacy and attention to detail every time. I mean, when we had the two visits, obviously round one Suzuka, we had the cherry blossoms. Then for Okayama last week, we had the tribute to the land of the rising sun, as in the Japanese flag colors, white background with some good accents of red, including the red circle that represents the sun. of Japan itself. So hopefully when we see a lot of drivers come in, now bearing in mind, folks, Aaron Sunday is the only driver that has opted to pit, and very, very early, I might add. So the next question that I need to throw at you, Mac Nelson, how much do you think he might be marginal on fuel come the checkered?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be close. There is no doubt about it. He is going to be close. He ran 8 laps, though, which is surprising because in a 45...
Will change, a paradigm shift. Well, I mean, I'm going to make another wrestling reference. When you talk about John Moxley, let's talk, former colleague of Roman Reigns, when he was under the alias of Dean Ambrose back in the day. See, I don't just follow motorsport. I do follow professional wrestling quite a bit, and I have been watching some highlights. I know that WrestleMania Vegas is this weekend.
Yes, sir. Come on.
There's going to be quite a lot. Obafemi versus the man when he started in the WWE. Brock Lesnar, the next big thing.
Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. My iRacing has bit the bullet and crashed.
Well, which in other words, folks, we'll be back very, very shortly with you. So just watch this space. We'll be right back with you with continuing coverage of week 5 of season 27 of Apex This GT4 Tuesdays, live and uninterrupted here on Racer Nexus. We'll be back with you very, very shortly.
He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on. Going the long way around, we're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force it off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it. They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Frisch on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As that's still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
No back into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh,
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Well, firstly, folks, apologies for the technical difficulties, but welcome back to continuing coverage of Apex This GT4 Tuesdays, week 5 out of 12 for season 27 here on Racer Nexus. You're joined once again, Alex Goldschmidt and Mac Nelson, your commentary team, as we continue to see the man ruling the roost here at the World Centre of Racing. And more to the point, DJ Alessandrini has a little bit of a wobble through the Rodriguez International Horseshoe, but we are seeing some pit stops happening. Brian Zinn has been in, so has Kevin Zhu. Zach Peterson has also been in, along with Russell Abraham and Conor Menard. Aaron Sunday, we know, has already been in the pits, but it's going to be interesting, Mac, when we see when the drivers do decide to pit, because we've only got 18 minutes, no, just under 19 minutes to go until the checkered flag. But of course, the big drama, well, there has been drama. John Monsalve is now in pit lane in the 505 Highlighter Edition McLaren, and I think he's definitely taken a big old knock in that McLaren, so that is probably damage being repaired. As Paul Bailey in the 569 Porsche exits pit road in the... Oh, so we got a Coors Porsche and a Coors Light Aston Martin. We've got the double bubble here on Apex this GT4 Tuesdays, but be quite interested to know what happened with John Monsalve. I know that we've just had those technical difficulties, but I don't know if we can see what probably happened to him, because he's been in there for 2.5 minutes now. He's just about getting going, so I think that car has had an off, had damaged, as Dylan Foster has gone straight off the track as he's left it. So this is where we see the replay. This is going to be coming out of turn 6, and well, he just pulls to the left. So whether he had an issue there, that's the big question. So he towed it, and that added 1.5 minutes onto what would have been, if he'd have brought that car back to pit lane, probably would have been about 45 seconds he would have been on his marks in the pit lane there, Mac.
Yeah, I think so. And something that we didn't get to witness, unfortunately, but something happened to DJ Alessandrini, because he has not stopped yet. Brian Zinn, Kevin Zhu have stopped, and he's only got a 7-second lead. So something must have happened, of course, at the time that the iRacing gods come and smite my system down. But I think something had to have happened to Alessandrini.
Yeah, so, well, his previous lap was 1:53.47. But I'm wondering if he's maybe trying to extend that fuel window for as long as humanly possible. I mean, I'm looking at other lap times. Michael Chase has just done a 1:53.4. Lathrop a 1:53.6. Now, Michael Brock has been in the pits, 21.8 seconds on lap 13. We're currently on lap 15, which is soon to be completed by the number 333. And again, oh dear, it's like two petulant children in the playground battling over the last swing on who's going to get there first. And at the moment, Brian Zinn is the one that's getting the advantage on that particular situation, because they are still roaring around in second and third place. They're going through the banking now, and this will put them onto the back stretch. I'm going to see. This is actually going to put them into the tri-oval. So again, Zinn just doing exactly what he needs to do, and they both covered. I mean, the thing was, Zinn and Zhu pitted at the same time, so they covered each other off. And more to the point, Kevin Zhu did a 20.27, Zinn a 20.83. Now Michael Brock is leading the 3-car train behind, and he's still the highest placed Mustang, but he's about 3.6 seconds off of that battle. So now you've got to understand that Lathrop, Chase, they've yet to pit. So out of the drivers so far that haven't pitted, we've only got a quarter of an hour left in the race. Alessandrini yet to pit. Lathrop, Chase, Bykov, Miller, Baudouin yet to pit. Cooper, Escalou, Mavis, Agudelo, Atchison, Tita, Joe Mayer, who's way down the order. Joe Mayer down in 19th position, as Felipe Cox, who started in 24th, he's chasing down Grayson Bovis right behind the 244 going pro of Conor Menard, who's just gone deep into turn 1. That's opened the barn doors at the farmyard very, very quickly for the two behind. And they quickly get through, but Menard's going to fight Cox into the Rodriguez International Horseshoe. But the Mercedes stand... Oh well, we've got Cheetos on the side of the Mercedes-Benz. Who'd have thought of that combination?
Yeah, that might have to be my favorite, man. I mean, I am a big guy. I call myself a Sasquatch for a reason, and I must say, one of the main contributors, actually the two main contributors are on that car. You got Cheetos on the side and on the hood, and then you got Walmart across the visor strip there. Hey, man, those are the two biggest reasons why I am a Sasquatch today. It's totally not poor decisions. It's totally not that. It's 100% just the Cheetos in Walmart.
Yeah, we don't have Walmart, but we definitely have Cheetos here in the UK, so I completely understand. Because the thing is, Felipe Cox has a bucket load. It's like he's got a bucket load of overflowing Cheetos on the roof at Mercedes-Benz in the 666, the number of the devil, of course, ladies and gentlemen. So watch your six. If Felipe Cox and the Cheetos Mercedes is right on your six. So let's see what happens with this man here. I mean, he's kept position, which is a good thing, and that's one of the big things about this league, folks, is that if you do want to join and you are a racer, you love your GT4s, the link is in the description for the Discord down below. We also have to say a big thank you to our friends at trackcams22.com for Russell Abraham meatball flag, and I've just noticed Felipe Cox's front end has got a bit of a whack. It's like he's hit a post. But Russell Abraham has got no rear bumper on that BMW, it looks like.
Alessandrini in the pits.
Meantime. So Alessandrini in the pits. Brian's in now leading. So let's see. He's got John Monsal not that far behind him. So, and he goes to the low side. I think he might have been... Alessandrini, I think he might have... Now, was that car spluttering? Because if so, that means he ran out of fuel.
I'm not entirely sure, but very, very interesting if that is the case.
Oh, dear. All I can say is Russell Abraham's Beamer has had more plastic surgery... Well, it's going to need more plastic reconstructive surgery than one of the Kardashian family. I've already made that joke several times this season. But that car is a shade of its former self. There's no front bumper. There's no rear bumper on the car. So Alessandrini having a bit of a nightmare in that one. I would be quite interested to see if he did run out of fuel. And I'm going to have a little look back on that replay that you just played out and put the audio up. That's going to be the quite interesting thing here with regards to Alessandrini. So he just suddenly slowed, because if that car was starting to splutter, then what will happen is that the engine will cut out completely. So that means that this is now the battle for the lead. And when I say this, Brian's in. Hasn't won a race yet this season.
Oh, what a wake-up call for Zinni, man. A little under 11 minutes to go. It's getting spicy, Alex.
Spicy like a good old bag of hot Cheerios, eh?
Yeah, dude, hot Cheerios. Yeah, come on. That's my favorite.
But this is now with 10.5 minutes to go. There is still a lot of drivers that, according to our timing and scoring, that have not yet pitted.
Now,
so some are leaving it.
There is a good chance, Alex, that because of the technical difficulty and because of the crash, the live timing might not have logged the pit stop. So I guess there is a world where these drivers did stop. It just happened to be in that like 90-second window that I was absent from the session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely the case.
Because, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, 47% fuel, they should have pitted by now. Surely.
I think it could be the all-attacking Alessandrini, and he did not. Well, if he didn't take fuel on, or there's something that's gone awry, that is something that you rarely see from DJ Alessandrini when he was that far in front. I mean, he had a gap of, what was it, 7.5 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
But now this means that Brian Zinn at the moment is leading the race. Kevin Zhu, he's trying to bump draft him again, coming out of turns 6 and 7. And Rachel, Aaron's other half, has said, Aaron has just had a bad week. All week he's been getting hit and he's being put out of the race every single time. Well, the good thing is, Rachel, he is still with us. He is still surviving. That is the main thing. Which can only be a bit of a confidence booster for the man in the Our House No Dramas, whereas elsewhere he has been having dramas. But more to the point, that is a big, big development. Now, Kevin Zhu, he's had a podium, he's had 2 top 5s. Brian Zinn, he's had 1 podium, 1 top 5, and looking at the race by race side of things, Brian Zinn's best result was a 2nd place. Now this is his 3rd appearance of the series. He got 2nd and also got a 0x at round 1 at Suzuka, came back at Watkins Glen and then took an 8th place finish. So Brian and Kevin are battling for what will be our next winner, because the thing is, DJ Alessandrini has won 2 races. He's won at Suzuka, he won at Okayama, so he won both races in the Orient. And whilst leading, well, the 333 has a major drama, and that is him done and dusted. As we have just under 7.5 minutes to go, Kevin Zhu does not need to go off of the track as they head into turns 5 and 6. We're now on lap number 20 of the race. Dylan Foster has been in the pits for nearly 2 minutes, so the 818, well, that car is up in the air, so Dylan joined us midway through last season and was the brunt of my jokes at Mosport last time out. But he has continued to stick with it, and he is improving every single time. But again, Zinn and Zhu battling away for 1st and 2nd. Lathrop through on Michael Brock for P3. Zach Peterson now up into 9th in the 116 Pink Pig Porsche. Very reminiscent of the old Group C cars back in the day of the when you had the likes of Derek Bell, the late great Stefan Belov, who was a Porsche works driver before his untimely accident, but with 6.25 minutes left to go on the clock. He is gunning for Spencer Baudoin as Michael Brock gets through on Thomas Lathrop. That's the show of the strength of the Mustang's engine, but he runs a bit deep into turn 1. Lathrop back through. Looks like we're going to have 4 more laps of racing, including this one, so it'll put us on to 24 laps when we hit the checkered. But Michael Brock is the Mustang meat in a Weissach sandwich at the minute, because he's got Lathrop in front of him, Chase behind him, and that Mustang has got to try and prove its worth for the man in the 421. Let's see if he can get it onto the final step of the rostrum here at the World Centre of Racing. But Lathrop can still see Zhu and Zinn battling away. If there's dramas, if there's any slight touch between the front 2, you know for a fact that at a circuit like this, you are going, if you're the car that is seeing what is going on in front, you are going to have the best seat in the house, so to speak. But nevertheless, Sean Teeter, oh, that's a bit to the outside of Justin Aitchison. And that's through at turn 3 at the Rodriguez International Horseshoes. Loses all that time that he'd gathered up to close on into the 175.
Unlucky for Sean Teeter, man, because it's, and I hate to interrupt you, Alex, but it just seems like every time we're watching Sean Teeter, he's done so much work. He's, you know, drove incredible laps to get up to the next guy that he needs to overtake for a position. And then he just has a little moment like that where he goes deep. I know it happened in turn 1. It happened in turn 6 back there a couple of times as well in practice. So Sean Teeter just unfortunately not able to strike consistent here. And his lap times are just all over the place because of it.
Yeah, it is one of these tracks that you've got to be really on your A game and just keep it pinned, you know. Try and exit out of the corner with the right angle, put the power down at the right moments, see if there's an opportunity for you to get through on the person in front if they make an unforced error, which can sometimes happen. We're on lap 22 with 3 3¾ minutes remaining here for week 5 out of 12 for season 27. And oh, Michael Chase, that was a bit too much. He went way too deep at the Rodriguez International Horseshoe. I think he can kiss that P3 opportunity goodbye. Look at the speed he carries, and that car, that ain't stopping. He's, you know, the thing is that these cars do have ABS on them, so what the car will try and do is rotate one of the corners on the car to stop the car from locking up. But on that particular occasion, Michael Chase too much speed into the Rodriguez International Horseshoe, and he went grass tracking, I'm afraid, round the outside. Luckily enough, he didn't spear into the back of Michael Brock, because that would have put the 421 Mustang's chance of keeping with Thomas Lathrop in the battle for P3. That would have caused him a big old drama. Brock takes a wallop of curve out of the Le Mans chicane. But keep your eyes on this, folks. Watch the closing speed of the Ford Mustang in comparison with the Porsche 718 Cayman. That gap was about 4/10 coming out of the Le Mans chicane. Gap is now closing, less than 2/10. Brock is now going to put it to the high side, or is he going to go to the inside? No, he goes to the high side. And look, a little bit of a wobble from the 421. Goes to the outside line into turn 1. Brock goes through and, oh, straight on. Oh, 2 moments. One for Michael Chase at turn 3 last on this lap. And then going into T1, Michael Brock accidentally misses his braking point. Aaron Sunday, in the meantime, what's happened with the 331 Our House No Drama Mercedes? Oh, that's a bit too much turning. Back end tries to step out. Yeah, and I do understand what you said about the sun strip there on the car of Aaron Sundays, but nevertheless, that has cost Michael Brock an opportunity to go for P3. But it's just one of those things. We thought the Mustang was going to be strong here, but Porsche, with the technicality and the handling that you need here at Daytona, it does not necessarily matter that you have the fastest car in a straight line. You've got to be able to rotate it through the corners. Felipe Cox has just got a black flag, so there's a drive-through penalty. And that is going to be a drive-through, or as myself and one of my commentary colleagues, we like to call it the trundle of shame down the pit lane. Hey, I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. There you go. How's about that one, folks? Even at coming up to 10 to 3 in the morning here in the UK. But John Agadello has got through on Joe Mayer. That's for 13th overall. Agadello's been doing a really, really good job in the mid-pack Larrys, and he is now going to the outs. Well, he's got Aitchison to his inside. He's got getting the draft off of the 000 BMW of Joe Mayer. Mustang versus Aston Martin. We are now on the white flag lap, and this is going to be an absolute slobber knocker as the leaders go through into turn 1 for the final time. Brian Zinn holding on to the race lead. The Cheetos edition Mercedes of Felipe Cox, who has got the black flag. If he does not serve that, that is going to be a post-race penalty, and then it's going to drop him probably about 40 seconds back, which will probably put him in 22nd overall. But we have to concentrate on the 2 at the front. Brian Zinn in the FCP Europe Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 now makes his way through into the Western Horseshoe. Oh, Sean Teeter's coming to pit lane. What has happened to the beast BMW? Sean Teeter, I think he might have been marginal on fuel, maybe. But to the... Oh, Brian Zinn, how late on... Brian Zinn nearly got tagged on the back by Kevin Zhu as we head on out of turn 6. Now this is going to be one of the last opportunities that Kevin Zhu is going to have to close in and pass Brian Zinn, as we've got less than half a lap remaining. Down the backstretch we go for the final time on the run to the Le Mans chicane. Zhu is closing. Hard on the brakes go both of the Porsches into the first part of it. They've got to be very careful of those sausage curbs on both parts, because they can spin you around if you hit them too hard. But this looks like it could be a drag race to the line. This is going to be the closest finish we've had so far in Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. Kevin Zhu is getting that window down closer and closer. It's going to be less than a tenth as they're going to head through into the tri-oval for the final time. It is going to be the checkered flag on this particular occasion. Kevin Zhu to the outside. It is going to be a drag race, but it is going to be Brian Zinn that is going to win here at Daytona by 53 thousandths of a second after 24 laps. Zinn holds on and picks up his first win of season 27. Kevin Zhu, Thomas Lathrop round out your top three overall. Michael Brock, Michael Chase, Mark Miller, Roman Bykov. But look at this. Zach Peterson behind Spencer Beaudois is going to finish 9th overall, but win in the mid-pack Larrys here at the World Centre of Racing. But Brian's in by 53 thousandths of a second. That's about the length of the front splitter on the Porsche that made all the difference.
What a race, man. What a performance by Brian Zinn, man. Zinny, I can't wait to see him, man. I can't wait to talk to him.
Neither can I, and what can you say? The World Centre of Racing at Daytona International Speedway makes always for great racing, and nothing could be further from the truth. As we've got Sean Teeter battling with Grayson Berv, and this is going to be a close one. Porsche versus BMW, Munich versus Weissach, and Teeter is going to nip it on the line by 27 thousandths, and that was for P5. And here comes Felipe Cox on Donald Mensing. Mercedes versus Mustang. I think the Merc might have it in the bag. Cox gets the side draft.
Oh!
And the Cheetos car collects the Mustang of Mensing. They both come across the line. And Felipe Cox takes it by a whisker. Well, what can you say?
Man, close results everywhere throughout the grid. That's how you know it was a tight and competitive race.
Yeah, so let's run you through the provisional results of week 5 out of 12 for Apex this GT4 Tuesdays at the World Centre of Racing. Brian Zinn from Maximum Effort Motorsports takes the win by 59 thousandths of a second, with Kevin Zhu, the Nürburgring King from St. Kitts and Nevis, P2, and an all Porsche top 3 on the rostrum, courtesy of Thomas Lathrop. Michael Brock, Michael Chase ran out your top 5 ahead of Mark Miller, Roman Bykov, Spencer Beaudoin, John Cooper, Oz Eskelou rounding out the top 10. Kyle Mavis, Joe Mayer, Conor Menard rounding out the top 13. Russell Abraham out with 7 laps to go. DJ Alessandrini out on lap 16. Brian Lemke with major internet issues, disconnected after the opening lap of the race. Then we go to the mid-pack Larrys. It's a victory again for the Pink Pig Porsche. Zach Peterson rules the roost here at Daytona ahead of Justin Aitchison in the 175 Golf liveried Ford Mustang, and John Agudelo in the manga-inspired liveried Aston Martin, rounding out your top 3. Harrison Mealy and Sean Teeter ran out the top 5 ahead of Grayson Berv, Felipe Cox, Donald Mensing, John Monsalve and Aaron Sunday rounding out the top 10. Dylan Foster and Paul Bailey finishing 2 and 3 laps down respectively. But it is now time to head to the Apex Sim Racing post-race interview show for Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. And you know what? I've been waiting patiently to say this. Let's bring in your week 5 winner, Brian Zinn. I cannot believe it. You are a winner on GT4 Tuesday. How about that one?
I'm as surprised as you guys. I fully did not expect that. I'm speechless. What a great win.
And by 59 thousandths of a second as well, buddy. 59 thousandths. That's like literally next to nothing. And considering you started on the outside of the front row alongside Mr. Alessandrini, who for some reason stopped, and then after lap 16 all of a sudden we're concentrating on you and Kevin. But man, I mean, you put on a hell of a defensive masterclass out there.
Yeah, I had to. Kevin had great pace. I think he probably had the same idea that I did in the first half of the race of trying to do some fuel saving. He just had the benefit of drafting off of me, and I had nobody in front of me because DJ was long gone in the distance. But yeah, I mean, hats off to Kevin. You know, it was great, hard racing, very fair, very clean racing. It's a couple of times I felt bad. I'm dealing with an issue where I get like a force feedback spike or something, and it causes the game to stutter going through the bus stop. So I have no idea if it was throwing him off or anything like that. But I just felt bad. But yeah, it was a great race, and I was perfectly content to fight for second and possibly third. And you know, at one point it seemed like I might have been the cork in the bottle because Michael and Thomas were closing up on us, and like 3 laps later, I looked down and we had almost 5 seconds on them, so they must have started fighting or something. But at that point, yeah, I was fully content to keep it between Kevin and I. And then when DJ disconnected, I was like, oh crap, this is the battle for the win now.
So not only did Mr. Lemke have a disconnect, DJ had one as well. Okay, I was wondering what had happened. We thought he'd possibly run out of fuel, but we had a bit of a technical issue with our broadcast, so we didn't see about who pitted when and on what lap. But still, nevertheless, Maximum Effort Motorsports and you in the 82 Porsche, you've won at the World Centre of Racing. That's going to give you a good feeling going into Donington National next week.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can say that you're a winner at Daytona is a good thing, right? The cars may be virtual, but the emotions are very much real. So I love walking out of here with a win anytime I can, and especially in Apex with the level of talent and competition we have over the last few seasons, especially this season. So, you know, I hate to see DJ have to have a disconnect, but I will gladly take that win and keep it forever. So, yeah, Donington's going to be a completely different beast to Daytona. Should be good fun, especially the national course with that fast final sector there. But yeah, been a minute since I've been on the top step, especially in GT4. So this is a good one tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Donington next week because we go to my home turf anyway. It's the only British circuit on the calendar for season 27. But Brian, congrats on finally, after a long drought, hitting victory lane. Before we let you go, who would you like to thank in particular?
Yeah, I got to shout out, you know, my teammates, Maximum Effort Motorsports. Don Mensing was in the race tonight. So, you know, hanging in Discord with all those guys is always fun. You know, shout out to Kent and the rest of the admins and the Apex List crew for putting this league on. If you're watching and you want to join, come on in. And obviously, thanks to you guys, Racer Nexus, for putting on the broadcast. It's always great to watch it back later tonight or tomorrow at work. And obviously, the wife for putting up with the fantastic hobby that I have. So,
brilliant, Brian. Thanks for your time as always, buddy. We'll see you next week for week 6 at Donington National in Leicestershire in the United Kingdom. Well done tonight.
Good
sounds
job,
good,
Zane.
gentlemen. See you later.
Good job, brother.
Thank you, Mac.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. Slight development, folks, because Justin Aitchison crossed the line ahead of John Agudelo. However, we're going to bring John in because he is actually our runner-up in the mid-pack Larrys. So standing by with Mac Nelson is John himself. Mac, over to you.
John Agudelo, man. How are you feeling? Mac up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how are you guys?
Doing fantastic, man. And you not only steered the course, you held off a lot of cars that were challenging in that mid-pack Larry's battle there. You walked away on the podium for the mid-pack Larry's, man. You had an incredible race. You had really good pace. So kind of walk me through it, man. What was the strategy like, and what was your frame of mind?
My frame of mind. Okay, to begin, I was just trying to keep it on the track. The car is extremely slidey through the infield. I was having a very hard time just keeping it on the track. I have no clue if it was me not trail braking enough, too much, not enough throttle, maybe a ton of throttle, too much steering input, setting off the balance. I don't know, but I had a great race. I was having a hell of a time holding off Joseph Mayer. he was great fun to race with, as well as Justin Aitchison.
Yeah, I feel like the kind of mix-up in the crossover between the pro class and the mid-pack Larry's class kind of clashed a bit more tonight than we actually normally see. Did you notice that out on track? And if so, was it encouraging? Did it give you confidence, or was it a little nerve-wracking being around all those going pro drivers?
It was a bit of both. Like, when you see yourself keeping up with all these fast guys, you're encouraged. Okay, damn, wait, I'm here. Let's make the most of it. But then there's sort of that tinge. This is not my race. I can't exactly full on race them. Otherwise, it's sort of bad manners. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, of course. That is, a good way to look at it, and to be honest, I think you were putting up just as much of a fight as them. I mean, you were absolutely cooking in that Aston Martin tonight. We're going to let you get out of here and celebrate, but before we do, is there anybody you would like to thank or shout out for the performance here tonight?
Yep, shout out to the 1010 Motorsports guys, as always. They're always hosting races. If you ever want to join, hit me up.
Well,
otherwise, I'll let you guys go.
Yeah, very well said, Mr. Agudello. Hope to be speaking to you in the booth here on numerous occasions as we enter the back half of the season. But for now, go celebrate, enjoy, and have a great night.
You have a good night, too. Take care.
Right, and to round off things, it's none other than our multi-time mid-pack Larry's winner, Zach Peterson, in the 116 Pink Pig Porsche, finishing P9, trying to close in on, of all people, Spencer Baudouin. Zach, can you hear us?
And indeed.
Well, congratulations on another victory, my friend. You seem
Thank you
to
very
be
much.
cooking on gas at the moment, don't you?
Yeah, I was surprised tonight. I don't historically do very good at Daytona. Once I realized I was in a safe spot there, I just kind of tried to keep a 0x going the whole time, get those bonus points at the end,
Yeah, definitely. I think it's, we've seen you really, really fight. And I have to bring up a point that Mac was saying earlier on in the broadcast, that the way that you've been dominating not just the mid-pack Larrys, but you're giving the going pros a hell of a lot of stick. Like, you're sort of like thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter about my iRating. I'm just going to give everyone all that I can. And once again, you've just proved how consistent you are. I mean, obviously, one of the things that we are normally concerned about with regards to GT4s is how bouncy the cars are with the damper rebound, especially trying to go through the Le Mans chicane. It does feel like the car sometimes has a little bit of air going underneath it, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's not much you could do about it. I just tried to avoid the curves as much as I could, and I had some issues last night in practice touching the curb, and the cars don't like that. So,
but nevertheless, a win is still a win, and take a win here. I mean, both yourself and Brian Zinn are our Week 5 winners. Must give you a hell of a lot of confidence going to my home country next week when we go to Donington Park to Leicestershire for the national circuit. That could be a good one for the Porsche, couldn't it?
yeah, I'm excited for that. I love Donington. I think that's great. I've done a lot of open wheel cars there in the sim, so I'm excited to take the GT4s over there. It should provide some more great racing.
Well, listen, we'll let you get out of here and celebrate, but before we do, Zach, anyone you'd like to thank in particular for tonight?
As always, my lady, Lemke, for encouraging me to just stay in my own race, and the guys over, of course, at SimLab, making sure everything's ready to go for the race. And you guys for hosting, obviously.
Brilliant. Well, Zach, thank you for your time as always, buddy. We'll see you next week at Donington
We'll see you next
Park
week.
National.
Thanks. Have a great week, guys.
Right, well, that wraps up the Apex Sim Racing post-race show here on Racer Nexus. Firstly, we've got a couple of thank yous before we sort of like give our final thoughts on what's happened here at Daytona. But firstly, big thank you to trackcams22.com, trackcams for gourmets or connoisseurs, if you will, whichever is your preferred verbiage thereof. They help us to provide as close to realistic motorsport coverage as possible. Also, a big thank you to our friends at Apex Sim Racing Shop. If you want to get stuff from SimLab, SimuCube, all the major providers of sim racing equipment, whether it's seats, sim rigs, direct drive, wheelbases, H-pattern gearboxes, handbrakes if you love your rally cross, and so much more, head to the referral link in the description down below and use the coupon code on checkout, RacerNexus, all lowercase, one word, for a 5% discount. Mac, you know what? Daytona never, ever disappoints, no matter what you throw at it in terms of cars racing here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was back here in January doing the 24 hours race on the iRacing official service. It didn't go too well for us. However, it was fun time just because Daytona is vibes, man. The atmosphere, you know you're at just the pinnacle of American motorsports here at Daytona. So much significance on the oval side of things and so much significance on the road course racing side of things. I mean, you cannot go wrong. I hope to get out here sometime in real life, but any race we can watch at Daytona, Alex, I'm sure you'd agree, it's a good day, man.
It's always a good day when we go racing at Daytona, to be completely honest with you, Mac. But on that note, folks, that is it. Week 5 in the books for season 27 of Apex this GT4 Tuesdays. We go from Daytona to Donington. How's that about that for a little bit of first letter track alliteration? We go to Leicestershire in the United Kingdom, and it is a track that I have had the opportunity of commentating at in real life before. It was also, if anyone might remember, back in 1993 for the European Grand Prix, when a certain Ayrton Senna in an underpowered Peugeot-powered McLaren went and did a number on everybody else, including the man that would win the title that year, Alain Prost in the Williams Renault. Donington Park is the scene for the halfway point of season 27. Just to round up things from my side, drama for DJ whilst leading the race, with Zinn and also Peterson doing the double for Weissach and for Porsche here at the World Centre of Racing. What will transpire in Leicestershire? Well, you're going to have to stick around in 7 days' time. Join us live here on the RacerNexus broadcast network to find out as it happens. Up here in the Global Broadcast Centre, you've been in the company of Mac Nelson and myself, Alex Goldschmidt. Plenty of racing action still to come on RacerNexus, so don't forget, if you haven't already, like, share and subscribe and hit that notification bell whilst you're at it. We'll see you in 7 days' time. And until then, race hard, race fair, and if in doubt, well, you better go flat out. We'll see you next time. Good night.